What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be talking about the NBA playoffs, NBA finals. We're right there already. Talk about matchups and who we see winning it. I'm Ryan.
I'm Nate.
And this is
N&R Analysis. We've currently got the Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics left for the finals. Coming out of the East, Boston won, and Jason Tatum took home the brand new award of the not the Larry O'Brien Trophy.
The Larry Bird.
The Larry Bird Award. So he got MVP from the Celtics. Ryan, give me your thoughts on that. How do you feel about that? Do you think he was deserving of that award?
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I think that he was the best player on Boston. So out of everyone on Boston, I think he deserved it the most. But the award is not for, it never says it's the best player on the winning team. It just says MVP of the East, and I don't think he deserves that. I think it should have gone to Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Buckets put up buckets in game after game, solid defense in game after game, and that game, it went to game 7 in that series only because of Jimmy Butler, and I think he deserved it.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know. Most of the time, MVP will go to the winning team. And I know that you disagree with that in some cases, as we've had discussion before about, LeBron and being on the losing team when he's won to the Warriors, or lost to the Warriors and such. Personally, I think it's just a kind of a made-up award. Cool for them. Awesome for Jason Tatum. Will they take home the title this year? I think that would be the better thing, but honestly, I guess we'll have to see what happens. As far as the West Coast goes, they've done a similar award called the Magic Johnson Award for the MVP coming out of the Western Conference, and Steph Curry took that home. What are your thoughts on that?
I in that case, I do agree Steph Curry deserves it.
Okay.
Luka did great, but when you lose 4-1 in your series, he didn't have enough talent with him.
Yeah.
And there was games where he just didn't perform like he normally did because Golden State matched up. They figured out what to do to slow him down. And so I think Steph Curry definitely deserved that.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on it?
Just discussing the new awards. Like I said, I don't really agree with them. I think coming from the winning team, yes, Steph Curry is the best player. This kind of meshes with what we're about to talk about, but Boston will play the Warriors, and I want to see Boston win in the championship. But ultimately, if the Warriors win, I want to see Steph Curry finally get his MVP award. And I know you disagree with that. But Kevin Durant took it home the 2 years that he was on the team, and I think he was the better player than Steph Curry. And then in 2015, Andre Iguodala took MVP, and I don't think that was right. So giving this Magic Johnson award to Steph Curry now is kind of just a reason to give out another award, in my opinion. That's my thoughts on those. I like that they're doing it. I think it's cool that they've brought it out, but I think they should have done it a long time ago instead of just recently in 2020.
Yeah, I think part of it, though, is that whole 75th anniversary. They're trying to revamp a couple things in the playoffs and try and get more people involved. And
yeah. And
so I think it's a good thing to do, but again, Kyle Lowry said best when the Miami Heat got eliminated. He said, this year was pointless. Regardless of what happens, if you don't win the championship, it's pointless. He made the Eastern Conference Finals his first year in Miami. It was pointless.
Yeah.
And, it's great to make the finals, but if you don't win it, that Eastern Conference award, that Western Conference award, it doesn't mean anything. You want that chip.
Yeah. And I've heard discussion beforehand about other teams, like, what's the success for this team this year? If they make it to the Western Conference Finals, has it been a successful year for that? And I've heard more discussion about its stepping stones, and every year you take further steps.
Yeah.
Take the Boston Celtics, for example. They've taken steps to get to where they are now. And Jason Tatum's played in the Eastern Conference Finals 4 times before, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Something like that.
And he's finally made it out. But I heard something today on just a podcast, and they said something along the lines of Boston's not there yet. They're not ready to take the next step because they don't have the experience to beat Golden State. And I think that's really interesting. I go back and forth about who I think will win, but ultimately I'm going to say Boston just due to their defense. And it depends on how Steph Curry plays and how Klay Thompson is playing. I think that they have to put up a lot, and they do have a great defensive team as well, and that's why I go back and forth. I think it's going to be an awesome matchup. I say Boston in 7.
Okay. I agree. I think Boston's a great team defensively. They're the superior defensive team, but I take Golden State in 6.
Okay.
I just think the experience is there, and very rarely do we see a team come out and make the finals with no experience. No one on Boston has ever made the finals. Not a single player.
What about Derek White?
He's never made it.
He hasn't ever made
made it.
I thought maybe he had made it with the Spurs.
Nope, he's too young.
Huh.
So not a single player, and I think you don't have that veteran presence. I mean, you have Al Horford, who he's their veteran. He's been in the league forever. But before making this, he was the player in the league who had played the most career playoff games without making the finals. And so they don't have that experience. They don't have anyone who's been there before. Golden State, obviously, they got everybody. I mean, most of those people have been to the finals. And I think they ride it out. And I think Steph will have the games necessary to win the MVP. And I think he'll carry his team. Okay. Do I want that? I'll tell you firsthand, I'm not a Steph Curry fan. I think he's a great player. I think he is the best shooter of all time. But I am not a big fan of Steph Curry. And so I don't love to see that.
Kind of just like you're paying your respects. Kind of like I pay my respects to LeBron, but I'm not a LeBron fan either.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing that I will be interesting in this series is Gary Payton Jr.
Okay, he's coming back.
He's coming back.
Good.
We'll see how he performs. But, I mean, athletically, if he can perform like he was before, I think he is a dark horse candidate for that MVP award.
Really?
Because I think...
Isn't he a rookie?
No, he's been in the league for a couple of years.
Has he? Okay.
He just hasn't done a whole lot because he hasn't been on teams. He's been in the G League. He's bounced around. But I put him as a dark horse because him defensively and his athleticism and his ferociousness, his dad's trained him to get down there, and I mean his dad, the legendary glove. I think he can cause some defensive problems for him. For Boston.
And I think it'll come down to if he makes that big of a difference. Like Jimmy Butler,
that's true.
Ultimately he is a great defensive player. He has more steals than he does fouls in his career.
One of the only players to do that.
At least that was within the last couple of years. I don't know if that's still...
It's still the case, yeah.
It's still the case. But let's hope that Gary Payton can make some noise, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, it's exciting no matter what. I mean, I feel like there's years where NBA Finals just aren't great because of injuries. Boston's fought injuries. Obviously, we just talked about Gary Payton Jr. I think both teams are healthy right now, and it will make for an exciting series.
Yep. If you like the content you see here, please subscribe. Leave us comments. Tell us what you think is going to happen in the finals.
Leave comments.
Who's going to win finals MVP?
Who's going to win? Do you follow basketball? I hope so. And we'll see you next week.